Yo, what's going on, everyone? Lore Master Jasper here, back at it with another build guide. Going to be building the ghost ship from Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars Ahsoka. It's very important you pay attention because this is quite an optimized build. You will hit a cap limit if you try it with a bunch of 1x1s. You have to go to ship manufacturers. Stroud Eklund is in the Narian system, and Hope Tech is in the Velo star system. They're right next to each other on the map. You have to go there because we'll be using exclusive parts that are only sold there. Specifically, some habitat sections 3x2s and 2x2s. You can only get those there. Again, I recommend building a shipyard and an outpost and getting the base layer of the ship built and as much as you can, and then going there to finish the build. But for right now, let's jump into the build guide and get into it. Now that the ship is apart, we can start the build guide. Starting out, we start out with a Teo landing bay, and then side cap from the same manufacturer on the side here. We put that on both sides. Have a 1x1 habitat. Habitats don't really matter, just whatever brand you can buy. Then we have a Demos Skeg B kind of spine piece here. We then have our 3 Nova Galactic landing gear. This is a 4 lander thrust. You need some pretty heavy landing gear here. You can find these Nova Galactic. I believe their base is on the moon. I could be, or no, it's on Titan. It's one of the moons of, I think, Jupiter. You then have Shroud Eklund cap here. This is a variant version also, I should mention, that you just hit the D-pad and you switch between. We then have a Shroud 2x1 habitat, and then a Teo bottom cowling piece here. It's kind of rounded, and you just flip it upside down. This Shroud Eklund slope piece here this is what the top version looks like. You just take this and flip it, put those on either side of the landing gear. You then have your Demos spined F piece that we'll use to connect to the bottom section of the engine. So we'll leave that there for now. Moving on to our first layer, we have a 3x1 in the center, and then a Shroud slope piece on either side. It's a straight slope. This is what the top version looks like, just to give you an idea, and you flip that upside down. You then have 2x1s on either side right behind that, and you then have a 3x1 on the left, center, and right of that, and then a 2x1 just behind it in the center. Then have a 1x1 on either side of those, and another slope section like on the bottom. You just stick it out another and bring it up one, and then a rounded Shroud slope cap. This is what the top version looks like. You just flip it upside down and get the backwards version, and that is your first layer. We can set that on top like so. Moving on to our next layer. This is where it starts getting a little complicated, and you'll have to go to certain manufacturers. Let's move this over so we can actually get a good camera angle here. We have 2 or 3 3x1s in the center here, and then a 2x1 on either side of that. You use a Shroud nose cap E on either side of those, and then you have 2 Hope Tech bumpers on the front here. You can only find these at Hope Tech. At Hopetown, that is in the Velo star system. You have a Nova Galactic porthole window on the front. You then have these Nova Galactic side cowlings, these kind of triangle pieces. This is the variant version of that. When you pick this triangle piece, hit the D-pad and you can get to the center version. That's how you get those. This is where it becomes important that you need to start optimizing. We have a 3x2 on either side here to save us parts. You then have a 1x1 straight behind that. This is also where we put our B-class reactor. You can choose whatever reactor you want. And our Class C reactor, or Class B grab drive, I'm sorry. And then a 2x1 behind that, and then 2x2s straight behind those. And then you just continue this kind of triangle design here with the Nova Galactic parts around, using their variants to kind of connect them. This is your third layer. You can also put your storage on this layer. I chose to put it a little higher up, but it would fit here. Bring that back like so, and you can kind of see the front of the ship coming together. You could throw your storage in here. Moving on to the next layer, we have 2 straight slopes on either side, and then 2 of the rounded shroud slopes on that side. You have a Hope Tech bridge here, and then a Hope Tech habitat. You can only find these at Hopetown, again in the Velo system. So be on the lookout for that. It's kind of rounded. It's a unique ship part. You then have a 2x3 Stroud Eklund habitat. You can find these again at the Stroud shipyards in the Narian system. You have a Hope Tech cross brace here. This is again exclusive to Hopetown, so you'll have to go there for that. You have 2 3x1s on either side and a 2x1 on either side. You have your backward slope, just like the front here. You just get a backwards version, you put it on the back. You have your fuel and a Class B engine. This is a SAE 544 engine. Put that on the back. You also have your docking bay here. It is a Hope Tech docking bay. Bring it over so we can see it here. This is a Hope Tech Docker side port. So I think that looks best for this ship. I would recommend getting that one if you could. We can move that on top here. Now for our first kind of roof section here, we start out with a 2x1. Again, this is where I place my storage. You can move it wherever you want. Kind of use this as a connecting piece here for everything. You have a 1x1 on either side of that. You have your rounded slopes on either side of those. You have a Stroud kind of straight side slope. Again, it's just this piece here, but it's just the variant version with the line down it. I thought that one kind of looked the best. So put that there. You have a Hope Tech Cap A. I like this because it was kind of thin, so it didn't raise up off the ship too much. Put those on either side. And then you kind of mirror that to the back with the Stroud slopes, the straight slopes on either side of those, and then the rounded slope section. You have a 3x1 for the back. Another exclusive Hope Tech part here. This Hope Tech spine section. You can only find this again at Hopetown. We have a Dun 31 engine, and then another SAE 544 engine, and then that Dun 31 engine again. Again, that Hope Tech spine habitat section right there. Let's move this on top, and then we go get our side caps here. And we can move those on either side, like so. Now for our kind of other roof section here, again, we start out with that sloped Stroud part here. We then have a 3x1, and then a 1x1 and a 1x1. I chose 2 1x1s here because this back one needs to be yellow because it kind of had like a yellowish design on the ship. And then we stack another Hope Tech spine piece on either side of that. We then have 3 different unique slopes. Again, they do have a single 3x1 piece here, but I wanted this red kind of paint line, so I had to use 3 on either side. So let's grab all this. Put that there. Again, make sure that your Demos spine F pieces connect to that engine down there, or it could give you an error. We have Demos spine A piece on the front, and then 2 spine Bs for like the guide rail where the Phantom would slide into the Ghost. Let's grab these, and we can put this on the back of the ship, right like so. We then have a shield piece here. This is only sold at some vendors, so you may have to shop around for it. And it kind of looks like the ball turret, so we kind of put that there. That is how you build the Ghost ship. Let me know if you build it and what you thought of it. And like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.